Three thrilling finishes at FedEx Forum this week. Two of them, however, have gone the wrong way, including this one against the San Antonio Spurs. Jaren Fox knocking down the game winner as the Spurs knock off the Grizzlies 130-128 tonight here at FedEx Forum. Welcome to Grizzlies Live Postgame presented by your Mid-South Ford dealers, Rob Fisher, Brevin Knight, and Chris Vernon with you to wrap this one up tonight as the Grizzlies fall 130-128. Real big hole in the first half. Great third quarter to get back in it. Just could never get over that hump.
Yeah, give San Antonio credit. They never allowed the Grizzlies to get over the hump. Even when the Grizzlies made the run, they didn't hang their heads. They continued to play on the offensive end, which was they forced the switches. They got the shots that they wanted to get, came up with just enough stops, and then they went out and got Jaren Fox for a reason. And the reason is exactly what we saw in the finishing of that game, for him to be able to create a shot, to get a good look, and to be able to knock down that shot on that end. And so this is not anything that we haven't seen before from Jaren Fox in terms of him being able to be a go-to player. And tonight it was just timely baskets that he was able to knock down, the biggest one being the one that finished the game.
Yeah, and obviously he got fouled on the possession before by Zach Edey. And so, he had a decently quiet night. You had done a reasonable job bottling him up. But those last five destroyed you.
20 points, 9 of the 20 coming in the fourth quarter for Fox, including the game-winning 2 at the end of the ball game. 20.8 for Jaren, going 7 of 17 from the field. It really overshadows what was a brilliant performance tonight by Jaren Jackson Jr., who was spectacular tonight.
Yeah, 42 points. Obviously hit the game-tying shot, but, you needed every bit of those 42 points to be in this game tonight. And he also gave you on the second night of a back-to-back, played almost 35 minutes to get those points. But, they didn't have anybody that could guard Jaren. They didn't double him, and he just went to work all night. There's nothing negative to say. Also, huge blocks on the defensive end, 2 monster ones in that third quarter against Sohan. Jaren was brilliant tonight.
I kept saying it to Petey. He's our ultimate warrior. Every night you know that you look out there on the floor that you can count on Jaren Jackson Jr. to be there to make plays for this basketball team. And exactly what he did in the second half. And you alluded to it, both sides of the floor, the blocks, the steals, the timely baskets that he was able to make. The threes that he made in that second half was huge. None bigger than this step back three off the glass here. No fault in what Jaren brought to the table here tonight.
31 of his points coming in the second half. He had 11 at the break, finishes with 42. He had 13 in the fourth quarter, 18 in the third quarter for Jaren Jackson Jr., who was special tonight for the Memphis Grizzlies, but it wasn't enough as the Grizz fall 130-128 to the San Antonio Spurs. A Spurs team that, you didn't know how deep they can go with some of the injuries that they have, especially with Wemby out. But you look at the guys that came in off the bench, 71 bench points for the Spurs tonight, including a big night from their rookie, Stephon Castle. He was terrific tonight with 24 points. He had 15 of those in the second half.
I love him. This is a guy that was this is a 5-star guy that walked into a program at UConn that had already won a national championship and blended in with them perfectly. So the kind of kid that he is to be able to pull off what he did in college, but he is having just an absolutely sensational rookie season, and to get to see it up close and personal for a second time tonight, he's a special talent. He's going to be a special player in the league.
The Spurs team is going to be problems. Yep. As they go down the road, because they have a number of young guys. You put a De'Aaron Fox, Wembanyama will be back. They'll go out and find them another big to be able to play alongside of him to give them the size. And we saw tonight what his capabilities are.
Yeah, and we saw 2 rookies tonight who are, front runners for Rookie of the Year this year, both Castle and Jalen Wells for the Grizzlies. And Jalen Wells, the thing that he continues to do, he continues to knock down threes at a high rate. 4 more of them that he knocked down tonight.
Yeah, I know, and he probably wants a couple of those in the fourth quarter that he got, those ones that he got thrown out to the corner in front of the Grizzlies bench that didn't go down for him, but Wells showed very well tonight. Again, had a big night last night against the Knicks, and then to turn around. The fact that he's not hitting the rookie wall and consistently still having these 10 to 20 point nights is very, very promising.
Yeah, they're big points that they need from him. Defensively, he's going to give you the effort, but on the offensive side, his mom was courtside tonight taking it all into action. But offensively, he's been consistent. for this Grizzlies team.
Yeah, 18 points, 7 of 14 from the field, 4 of 10 from distance for Jalen Wells. We will take a break here on Grizzlies Live postgame, presented by your Mid-South Ford dealers. Grizzlies fall tonight to the San Antonio Spurs, 130 to 128, despite 42.9 for Jaren Jackson Jr. We're back with more after this timeout. Welcome back, everyone, to Grizzlies Live postgame presented by your Mid-South Ford dealers. Zach Edey with the block, 1 of 3 block shots for the big fella tonight, but the Grizzlies not enough against the San Antonio Spurs, 130 to 128. Grizzlies with a valiant comeback in the third quarter after being down big at the halftime break. Spurs led by as many as 22. Grizzlies come back. They're able to tie it at the end, but De'Aaron Fox with the game winner, and the Spurs win at 130 to 128. Speaking of Zach Edey tonight, another big night offensive boards for Zach Edey. 17 points, 9 rebounds with 6 of them on the offensive glass, and a lot of putbacks for him.
Well, this is a team that, obviously we're familiar with Bismack Biyombo. They really had one big available, and so this is one of those nights where he's got to be an advantage for you, and in large part he was, right? Still has trouble where teams are trying to put him in every action, putting a lot of pressure on him defensively to be able to get all the way out to the three-point line and then retreat all the way. But when he could just be around the basket, he is a force.
Yeah, and I think he just does a great job. Some good blocks defensively. But he's done a good job on the offensive end where guys drive and their bigs leave. He follows right behind and putbacks tonight. It wasn't just the tap outs.
Yep.
In this game, it were putbacks on the offensive end.
Yeah, they sure were. And Coach Jenkins, he's downstairs visiting with the media, and the first thing he was asked was about Zach Edey. Let's hear from the head coach of the Grizzlies.
I thought Zach actually did a pretty good job on the drives. I mean, it's the 3-point foul. Go back and watch the film. I thought, Zach has been showing us signs in his development, getting better and reds and all that. We had to change some matchups. We played so many different lineups tonight trying to, figure out combination. I thought the switching was good for us. It's not on Zach. We lost the game because in the second quarter we couldn't guard. So that's what it came down to. End of game, credit Fox, big-time player, tried to get the ball out of his hands twice in a row. He rejected, hit a tough step back. That's what he does. We've been in a lot of end-of-game situations. It's worked for us sometimes, and some of it hasn't, and we've got to continue to get better in that department. But, this game and the Indy game, you give up almost 50 points in a quarter. It's a big hurdle to come over.
You said before the All-Star break, health was going to be a priority going towards the postseason. Is it hard, or how do you balance, a situation like tonight where you had a lot of guys questionable on the fence, whether or not they were going to play, their health versus looking at the standings and, deciding, I guess how competitive you can possibly be out there on a given night?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trusting working with the medical team, how these guys are feeling about their bodies. And when, a guy's out, it's obviously for, they're not able to step on the floor for some limitation. So we're thinking big picture for sure. And these guys are going to be back hopefully on Monday, if everything responds well to the soreness that they're navigating. And, again, I can't be looking at the standings, pressing everything right now. That's not our focal point. So it's getting the information that we got, and the guys are available. They need to be ready. We had guys step up that have been working hard for this opportunity, and that didn't turn out well for us tonight.
Yeah, talking obviously